Hello everyone and welcome to a video here. This is Wesker, and in this video I would like to talk about my experience at Amazon. I apologize for the noise in the background. It is my dehumidifier. I made a rough draft slash video before about this, but now I'm gonna make it again. I was at Amazon for roughly 2.5 years. I joined in October of 23 and I left this year back in February. So first I'd like to briefly explain how I got to Amazon. So shortly after I finished college, I tried to join the military. The first time I joined back in the winter of 22. Unfortunately, I ended up getting separated in basic the following year in February. And so I came back home. I was looking for jobs and I found Walmart. And so I joined Walmart, and after roughly 7 months, I went on to join Amazon. Now, why did I leave Walmart? A number of reasons. I was getting discriminated and disrespected by a supervisor at Walmart. But again, I'm not gonna go into details as to what happened. But pretty much, I left the company and then I joined Amazon shortly after. After roughly 5 months of being at Amazon, I decided to join the military again. I went to basic in May. I finished basic in July of 24. And then I came back home in September after finishing AIT. And I came back to Amazon again because I had put on a military leave before shipping out to basic. And to be honest, I didn't want to come back home. I had some regrets about joining the reserves because I still had to go back home. I still had to continue at Amazon. My experience after returning from basic and AIT at Amazon was rough. It was rough. However, on the military side, I was excelling, especially on physical events like the ACFT. I was going to military schools. I went to BLC. I went to Australia for my annual training, and I have proof. Well, I have a picture, but I have this as well. I got this from my annual training in Australia. And of course, I got paid as well. We service members do get paid for attending drills, attending annual training, etc. And so I realized that I probably should become a full-time soldier instead of being here at Amazon. Because at Amazon, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't going to make progress at Amazon. I was stuck as a level 1 grunt. Even though I went to college, even though I graduated from college and have a 4-year degree, and at that point, I was also in the military. I was and still am a 42 Alpha, a human resources specialist. Yet, on the civilian side, I was doing grunt work. I was getting paid very, very little, and I wasn't going to get anywhere. I was going to be stuck at home with my parents. So I applied to the AGR program, Active Guard Reserve, and on February of this year, I left Amazon for good, and now I am here on the East Coast. Now I have my own apartment, my own vehicle. I am making almost twice of what I was making at Amazon. Think about that for a second. And I am also working as an HR specialist. I am no longer lifting boxes, doing very meaningless tasks, getting told what to do by people who are younger than me, who had no business being managers at Amazon. And at this point, I want to talk about the culture at Amazon, or at least the culture at the warehouse where I was at. It is very difficult to make progress at Amazon. And when I say make progress, I mean being able to get promoted, being able to get more opportunities for growth and development. It is very difficult. You need somebody to vouch for you in order to be considered for a promotion or a different role. The culture at my warehouse was pretty much a high school environment. There's a lot of gossip, there's a lot of cliques, and there's one clique that is the most dominant that is the most toxic as well. I didn't fit with that clique. I didn't get along with that clique. But I didn't care because I was there to make money. I was there to work. I was there to try to make progress. But I didn't realize that I was just going to be stuck there until the end. I always thought I'm going to find a better opportunity either in here or elsewhere. When somebody did vouch for me and I got a lateral promotion to become part of the ASC, the Amazon Safety Committee, most people from that clique got upset and angry. They didn't like seeing me as somebody who had gotten a higher role than them. Honestly, being part of the ASC is not that big of a deal. It really isn't that. It isn't as big of a step up as others may think. It really isn't. At least for me, in my case, it made things worse. It put a target on my back to a point where people wanted to actually hurt me physically. And I realized at that point that my time at Amazon was up and I had to move to a better place. And that's when I applied to the AGR program. I was counting the days of when I was gonna leave for good. And finally the day came and I left. And so again, if leadership doesn't like you, if you seem like somebody who is just not going to fit within their circle, you are not going to get any opportunities at Amazon. So if you find yourself in a similar situation, I suggest that you start looking elsewhere. I'm not saying that you should join the military like I did and do the same things that I did, but in my case, I had to leave that environment. I had to leave home. And to be honest, I don't miss home at all. I don't miss Amazon. Not everybody at Amazon was bad. There were a couple of people there that were decent, that were good, for lack of a better term, but it wasn't worth it. And fortunately, again, I left. Lastly, I want to talk about leadership. Some managers there, I don't know how they got there. I don't know how they became managers because most of them don't have leadership skills, in my opinion. But they just don't. The PAs, I had this one guy who was just a complete asshole. Well, there's two of them, but one of them was the worst PA that I've met. He was a complete dickbag. And again, I'm not gonna say his name, but if you know who you are, you know who you are. Now I can say that I am probably making just as much as those managers are making. I have heard that some of them even live with roommates that they cannot afford their own rent. In my case, I can afford my own rent and I can save money on the side as well. I guess you could say that karma was done in the end, that now I am far away in a better place. Amazon should be just a temporary job for all of you, because I promise you, if you are somebody like me who just wants to work and make money and make progress, you're not gonna get that at Amazon. I promise you, you're not. So anyways, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to make this video to, I guess, inform people of my experience, and maybe this could be something that other people could probably relate. But anyways, pretty much it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.